Hey guys, Ike here from BikesOutdoors.com. I'm here today to do a review on the rack plaque from Mountain Mikes. This is the 8-point that I killed on September 16th of this year. Great little buck for us. For me, this was one we had on our list to harvest. He was about a 4.5-year-old, 148-pound, 8-point. Scored about 118, something like that. So good little buck, and definitely one I wanted to put on the wall, but not one I wanted to do a complete shoulder mount on. So I did the rack plaque with this thing, and I think it looks awesome. And it's going to be awesome looking right next to my Black Forest skull mount that I've got from Mountain Mikes as well. It's going to look really cool next to each other. Now, I did a how-to video on this thing, but I ended up messing up when I was doing it and didn't get it filmed properly. So I'm just going to run quickly on how to do this. It is super easy. You can do this with your skull intact, or you can actually cut your antlers off like the other Mountain Mikes, and you'll use something, it'll come with something similar to this shed spreader. You can use that as well. So you can either use your skull plate, your skull mount, or a skull intact, or you can use this right here. Now, it's going to look a little bit different than this. I don't want to take this apart to show you, but this is just an extra shed spreader that I had laying around. So what I like about that is if you want to use the shed spreader, you can use it, makes it a little bit easier. Everything lines up really good that way. If you want to use your skull plate, then you can actually go ahead and use your skull plate as well. Now, if you use your shed spreader, as soon as you cut these antlers off, then it makes it a non-scorable trophy after that for Pope and Young and Buddha Crockett. If you use your regular skull plate, then your antlers aren't going to change, so you can go ahead and you can enter this into Pope and Young, Boone and Crockett, whatever you want to, as far as that goes. But and the reason because of that is when you change this, when you put this, you can change this distance across here to pretty much anything you want to, so that makes it an unscorable mount. So it's really super easy to do, and I used the skull plaque or the shed spreader because it was super easy to do that way. You got 4 bolts in the back, 2 that hold your leather cover on. It's got a plastic shroud inside of it, and then 2 that actually go right into the back of your skull plate. If you're going to use your own skull plate, then you have to line this thing up and drill the 2 holes through there. If you're into your skull plate. If you're going to use the shed spreader, everything's already there, and it's really super easy to do that way. If you're going to use the shed spreader, you got to measure a few different spots like I did with this one to get it back to the appropriate size that it was before you cut your antlers off. Shed spreader, you just cut your antlers off, screw it to it, drill a couple holes, and then set it to your correct width across here, and pretty much bolt it to it, and you're done. So it was super easy to do. With the shed spreader on there, it took me about a half hour to do it, and I did it both ways. And with the skull plate, with the original skull plate from the deer without the antlers cut off, it was a little bit harder to do and just had a little bit more of a difficult time doing it. And I finally just I didn't really like the way it was with that skull plate on there. I couldn't get a good covering on the leather, and just didn't kind of look right. So I went back to the shed spreader and used it. It's super easy to do. This right here is going to come as one piece, and you're going to take your knife and you're going to cut just a little bit of cuts in there in a star-shaped pattern if you're going to use your standard antlers. If you're going to use the shed spreader, it's a little bit easier than that even. So really easy to do. I did it both ways, and doing it both ways took me about an hour to do it both ways, and probably 35 to 40 minutes of it was using it with the original skull plate. The antlers were attached. When I did it with the spreader, super easy. Cut these things off, drilled a couple holes, and got it on there. And I think it looks awesome. I think it looks really cool. The leather covering over it looks really nice. It's going to be good and durable. Underneath this leather cover, it's not just a leather cover. It's got a plastic liner inside of it that comes up and actually goes up into here. So it's a good plastic liner all the way around it, good and solid. It's not wood on the background. It's plastic, whatever, polycarbonate something background on here, so it's not going to diminish. It's not going to fall apart on me or anything like that. Same way with the leather on here. Good solid construction on here, no problems at all as far as this thing going away or rotting away or anything like that. The designs on this are really cool. They're kind of that same way with that Black Forest skull mount that I got in there. It's got some kind of gothic looking, Celtic looking, I don't know, German looking symbols around here that look really nice and look really cool. And overall, it was really easy to do. Like I said, it didn't take me very much time at all. and looks awesome. I am thrilled with the way this thing looks. I think it looks fantastic, and a really good mount for this 8-point. So you can do this with bucks that you've killed, like this 8-point here that I put together. You can do this with sheds. Another thing that you can do this with is if you want to rehabilitate an old mount. This is a great way to rehab an old mount. I've done that on a couple of my old mounts. I got a 5-point that I did one on, and then a 12-point or 11-point that I killed a couple years ago. I did it on one of these mountain mics too. So it's a great way to rehabilitate some of those old mounts as well, especially if you have something, say, like your dad killed, your granddad killed, or something like that, and it's just getting old and getting worn down. This is a great way to rehab that old mount and make it look new, make it look really cool, and overall it's super easy to do. So this is the mountain mic rack plaque, and I really like it. Again, I like it for a couple different reasons, because it's so easy to do, and if you want to keep your trophy intact, you can keep your trophy intact. If you want to use the shed spreader, you can use the shed spreader. So it gives you a couple different options on how to do it, and when you're said and done, it's a fantastic looking mount. So be sure to check this out. We've done a couple reviews on the mountain mic stuff in the last couple years, done 3 of them this year. I've been fortunate enough to get my hands on a few of these and rehab some old trophies and mount some new ones on here. So I think it looks fantastic. This 8-point's going to find a place of honor on my wall right up there next to some of my other trophies, and really happy with the way it turned out. So for more information on this, we'll put a link to the Mountain Mike's website below. For more product reviews, how-to videos, you can check out our website, Ike's Outdoors. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and be sure to check us out on Facebook under Ike's Outdoors. Appreciate you guys watching.